Schmutzy, don't bite me. What the fuck? I was just showing you the look, get off. Get off. I was just showing you the family. Get off. You're getting your hair all over. This one is old great Grampy Ferdinand Chompers Fritz. Yeah, right? Dapper guy. Look at him with the shoes. He used to run whiskey in Chicago during the Prohibition, I think. And, they call him Chompers on account of his one remaining tooth. And you had to do that each time. Good. Schmutzy, do it. Try it. Good. Schmutzy, try it. There you go. Hey, great shot with the Tommy gun. Here we go. This is Francis Fritz. He was a notorious bank robber in the Midwest. Not such a good shot. Opposite of Chompers. Ended up getting blocked in front of a Wells Fargo back in the day. Block, 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 right in the head and the gut. Not a pretty sight. It was fucking messy, man. With a gut shot, Jesus fucking. Meemaw, show me the post-death pictures. And let me tell you, they messed him up properly. This is... Never mind. Better not... Oh, okay, goddammit, jeez! Okay, it's formaldehyde flames, Fritz. A faint... Alright. Fine. He was an infamous arsonist in the 50s. Burned the shit out of a lot of shit. Dude was kind of a fucking scumbag. But he was a scumbag. But, I mean, hey, look, sometimes you gotta burn shit down, right? So... Wow. You know what? This got me in the mood for some old-timey, classic gangster-type movies. Oh, man, the Fritz clan. They didn't ever bathe, and they smelled bad, like sour milk, but they were, also gnarly dudes, man. So, I chose the scholar's route, making them patents. More cats, more free time, as it were. Oh, yeah, the nerds are drafted into the TV. All right, let's see how they feel about this tonight. Bananas!
Do they sell bananas? They sell bananas?
You really sold that.
Where are we?
I want a banana.
Banners.
Dude,
just straight up,
a whole bunch
not
of
even
street vendors.
Nanner
fucking
vendors.
Peanut butter and nanner or nothing, just straight up a nanner.
They got Nana turf wars.
And it's vendors.
Honey nanners.
So there's people with competing bananas on
Correct,
different
across
corners.
the street.
I got bigger bananas over here.
Oh, fuck.
Look at the size of my bananas.
His bananas are fakakta.
Fuck her bananas.
Excuse me.
Wow. How big?
Big enough.
You four, come with us.
This is, dude, oh, God. Dude, that guy sounded so stilted and strange.
You don't
like
have
that
to,
guy.
Why are you paranoid about this?
you don't
Calm
have to try
down.
to take your shirt off. No gods,
You don't
no
have to listen to
kings,
that
cows
tone.
over here.
Ignore him.
He hates authority.
I have
I
weed
know.
in my pocket. Well, it's mostly
Ooh.
probably, I might be paranoid.
It's a
Why?
good idea to be paranoid with the weed in your pocket.
Is it illegal where we are?
Actually,
where are we?
In
Where
Chi-Town,
actually
I have
are
no
you?
idea.
Are we still trapped in the TV?
Chi-Town?
I think we're in Prohibition era Chicago right now.
Prohibition era Chicago.
It does smell
So I
like...
can't get a drink?
Worst time ever to be in fucking
like
Chicago.
speakeasies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It does smell like pigs.
How can you tell?
Do you know where the speakeasies are?
Don't tell him. He's a nerd. Don't tell him.
I'm the one carrying the
Look at
weed.
you. But, yeah, I know.
That's how that works.
Thank you.
Yeah, but are we really supposed to go down this alleyway to follow these cops? I really don't think this is a good idea to do this.
You
never
know,
a good
earlier
idea.
when I mentioned it smells like pigs, I did not mean that.
Ooh,
I meant
keep your voice down. They're
historically.
right there, dude.
Hey, wait. See that hat over there? That's how you can tell we're in Prohibition era. See that?
Why is that?
Yeah, see?
Prohibition
That's
hats.
Yep.
It's got the,
That's
yeah, it's
how
got
I can
that kind
tell.
of brim on
The
it.
bowler
Yep.
hats.
Looks like a
There you
guy who
go.
needs a drink. Where's that hat?
He's just angrily furrowing his brow behind the big ass
Pissed
hat.
off
like-
and sober.
But seriously, guys, if shit gets crazy, let me do the talking, okay?
Yeah, no.
This time, can you keep your mouth shut?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
fine.
Don't even worry about it.
Get the fuck in front of us!
Oh, my God.
Get up! Down there!
Fritz, keep your mouth shut,
Hey,
man.
don't
I
touch.
told you.
He's a delicate man. Dude, come on.
Bruises easy like a banana, I tell you.
Seems like these rubes think they know better than us. The Chicago types. Hey, boss. Hey, Tammy. And they didn't say there'd be a broad with them and all. You show that, the thing that we got to do the thing. The thing.
You want to go
Tommy!
It's Bob.
Bob!
They don't even know each other's names. Something's not right.
Hey, you quiet, you.
I don't like this.
You want to go
legit.
tell the boss we couldn't find the right ones? These will do for now. Up against the wall, you scum!
Jesus Christ. You got, no. I've seen enough. These two dudes don't know each other's name. They're like completely disjointed. That one has a crazy look in his eye. The other one has just a straight up drunk look in his eye, which means they've got to be gangsters, right? Like, there's no booze in Prohibition era.
Can they hear us? We're talking about them, and they're like right there.
What are they going to do? They got us up against the wall. Are they going to shoot us?
I just pissed my pants.
These guys over here talking about us like we can't even hear them, like they're doing some sort of radio show. I don't get it. I want to shoot them, but we can't because we're cops.
Angela, you have to save us. I don't know. Something. Do a thing that makes us not be in this situation anymore.
Do a thing. Hey, Dave!
Don't
You
do
crazy
that.
broad!
His arm's not supposed to go that way. Oh my god.
That's my foot!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Angela! What the fuck? Where did
her
that
go!
go? Where did the Tommy go?
Yeah. Good. I've been training for that for years.
That was like Jet Li and Jackie Chan combined. That
Felt
was
good. I've
amazing.
been waiting to unleash
Angela,
that.
holy
Do
shit.
you mind if I fire
Delicious.
off the gun a little bit?
Oh, you got it.
Spray these dudes.
Sure. Here you go.
Make him into a polka dot cadaver.
Whoa.
He's got a kick. He's got a kick, man.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's like a kid with a fire hose.
Hold on.
I felt like a flag flying on top of a fort.
It's not like a water gun.
This other one over here has a fucking cop's uniform on, guys.
We just killed cops.
That's
no.
capital murder. In Chicago, Prohibition era Chicago, we're going to jail.
We just committed capital
That's not
fucking
good.
murder.
Under the jail.
Super inconvenient.
Oh my god, that sounds
Well,
bad. With
when
the
I say
capital in front of it.
we, I mean, honestly, I didn't shoot anyone. I was standing over here.
Yeah.
Who did all the shooting?
Who did all the shooting and the beating up and the twisting of the arms and the foot?
Well,
No,
the
I didn't
beating
do
up
it.
I might
That
not have
was Angela.
seen.
That was Angela. It's totally
Beating
Angela.
No, that was
I didn't see
Angela.
anyone.
them up.
I didn't see anyone
but
beat anyone up. I saw
that was self-defense.
Really?
someone get shot after they were unconscious on the ground. That was actually pretty.
No, they're
fucking
already
brutal.
dead. He was just double killing them.
No death was confirmed.
All right.
Thank you.
This dude
like a
clearly
Batman
is a
video
gang-
game.
This dude's a gangster. This dude's a gangster. This dude's a cop. Why are gangsters hanging out? You know what this sounds like to me?
What?
It sounds like a setup.
Uh-oh.
It smells
Wait.
fishy.
Ooh.
Ew.
It sounds like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
You just made that title up.
Yeah, that's not a real thing.
It sounds too
That's
cool,
a Hallmark
right?
massacre.
That is really good. No, that's
It's a really heartfelt massacre,
That's
and it's very pointed.
On the morning of Thursday, February 14th.
A Thursday.
It was a Thursday. 10:30 a.m.
Weird shit doesn't normally happen on Thursdays.
No, it's a really boring day.
Yeah. It's either an early week or a weekend thing. Thursday's a little...
I feel like Thursday is my weird day. Most of my weird shit happens on Thursdays.
Thursday was Valentine's Day in 2019.
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, it
Oh,
was.
shit.
Oh, my
what is this?
God.
That's why I was like-
1929? What is that?
90.
90. This is the
Math.
90th year. The last Valentine's Day was the 90th anniversary of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where 7 men, not just 4, or 3 and abroad, were murdered at the
bringing it back.
the North Clark Street, Chicago parking lot in Lincoln Park. The men were shot using weapons, obviously, pistols, and also included 2 Thompson submachine guns, which points if anyone can give me the kind of nickname, the colloquial nickname of the Thompson submachine gun during Prohibition era Chicago.
The Bobby gun.
Tommy gun.
Well, no, Tommy gun is, yeah. Okay, so what's the other one?
The Johnny gun.
The Chicago typewriter.
There he is.
Ooh, Chicago typewriter.
The
Yeah, that is
Chicago
points.
typewriter.
Yeah, I got that on Resident Evil 4. I have the Chicago
Yes.
typewriter, and nothing can stand up to it. You just
No.
want everything dead, everything dead. It's so much
Man,
fun.
I miss out on a lot of information not playing video games.
Right? Mad Max Kaz has Tommy guns. I'm just telling you. That's like when I picture myself in like a post-apocalyptic
I'm so glad
situation.
you do that.
I am bandoliers, Tommy guns. I don't know why.
Do you have the weird guy with the mask strapped to the front of your car?
No,
you
it's
don't have
just
that
me.
guy?
I don't-
Or do you,
I- like,
do you have the guy
honestly,
with the chain
I'm like,
No,
behind you?
he's not a freak.
It's just Mad Max Kaz.
I'm like a walker too. I'm like, I don't even have a car in this reality. Like, I'm kind of ambling along down the side. Like, no one's really even fighting me. I just have
Just hanging out.
I just have the Chicago typewriters
Just
with
shooting
me.
shit.
But yeah, no, it's popularized during World War II. One. And then guys started being able to bring over their weapons from the war, and then they started getting sold on the black market, and then gangsters got them, and then they modded them to be able to hold like hundreds of rounds and be able to shoot a bunch. And so the Tommy gun was a popular gangster weapon during the time, and these men were shot with these things.
So these were war weapons, or they were
Correct.
also readily available to buy?
It started off as war weapons, and then they got basically bootlegged into the market.
Right.
So this would have
Sounds
been
familiar.
So witnesses saw that they saw a couple of street clothes men, actually street clothes being at the time the style of dress that the gangsters would like to wear, very fine clothes, very like suited, nice shoes, hat, vest, the whole thing, and then also with two uniformed police officers. The victims included 5 members of Al Capone's gang.
Ooh.
George Bugs Moran,
Speed buggy.
Albert Kachelik, Adam
that's
Heyer,
nice.
Albert Weinshank, Frank Gusenberg,
Weinshank, that's a good one.
I like that one.
Frank Gusenberg, and
Ooh, Gusenberg.
Peter Gusenberg. Not Peter
Oh,
Gutenberg.
The Gusenbergs.
The Gusenberg brothers.
So-
Brothers,
brothers?
cousins?
They didn't have any nicknames? Come on.
The Gusenberg brothers.
Gusenbergs
They're like
enough.
What was
flock?
one goose and one
the
bird?
Gander.
They weren't
The
called the
Gander
geese.
brothers. Those are the members of Al Capone, like confirmed members of Al Capone's gang. 2 other men were shot: Reinhard Schwimmer, a former optician turned gambler,
Ooh.
and John May, an occasional mechanic for the Moran gang.
Occasional mechanic.
The
Aren't all mechanics occasional? Like, otherwise, you just be mechanic all day.
I mean, shit, like,
all
that
you
gotta
do.
work. Gotta fix up those banana carts.
Someone's got to.
40 hours is 40
There's
hours.
a lot of them, evidently.
So, actually, not all of the men died. Frank Gusenberg of the Gander brothers actually was still alive. He got taken to the hospital. They were able to stabilize him. And then he was then questioned by police and asked, who shot him? No one. No one shot me.
Oh,
Ooh.
good.
Was his
So,
response.
yeah.
Damn.
He was
Man
loyal.
died 3
Loyal.
hours later.
Jesus.
No snitching. No gods, no kings, no snitching.
That's your nickname here on the fort.
Gusenbergs are like true.
Real ass
Tried and
motherfuckers. The Morons, apparently were part of the Northside gang. The Northsiders were in contention with another part of the Capone organization to control a certain amount of the liquor distribution in the area.
So this was a little bit past Prohibition, right? Or is this
1929? I don't know. What was the
right in
when
the
did that
thick
happen?
of the weeds of things? Hold on.
The years of Prohibition were from
You don't have to
1920.
say it like that, man, Daddy. Jesus Christ.
The years of Prohibition were 1920 and 1933, dickface.
Right. The Moran gang was in contention for control of the liquor distribution in this area.
How do you spell it, too? Moran?
Moran. They actually saw the cops, or the alleged cops, following them out of their parking lot. They actually went into
Interesting.
do the classic, oh my god, oh shit, the cops are on me move, and just walked into like a local coffee shop, turned around and walked into like a local coffee shop, saw their buddy walking down the street, beckoned him to say, hey, look, like it looks like the cops are following us. And then they decided they were going to make a move for their car, and that's when they were approached by the uniformed officers and then the additional men. Witnesses outside the garage saw a Cadillac sedan pull to a stop in front of the garage. 4 men emerged and walked inside, 2 of them dressed in police uniform. The 2 fake police officers carried shotguns, entered the rear portion of the garage, where they found the members of the Moran gang and collaborators, Reinhard Schwimmer and John May, the mechanic and the optician?
Ophthalmologist.
Obstetrician?
Who was fixing one of the
Doctor.
trucks. So the guy was actually working as a mechanic at this point. He was fixing a truck.
Yeah,
in
he's
there.
a doctor of fucking shit up.
The fake policeman ordered the men up against the wall, signaled to a pair of men in civilian clothes who had accompanied them, and then 2 of the killers opened fire with Thompson submachine guns, one with a 20-round box magazine, the other with a 50-round drum.
Damn.
Wow, man.
They were through... They continued to shoot the victims even after all 7 had hit the floor. 2 shotgun blasts afterwards had all but obliterated the faces of John May and James Clark.
So that
What
was
a way to
fucking...
put it, dude.
Yeah. Obliterated.
Obliterated
Wow,
faces.
yeah.
To give the appearance that everything was under control, the men in street clothes came out with their hands up, prodded by 2 uniformed policemen. So they like switched it around. The guys who were the killers came out like they were getting caught for it by the cops.
Oh, yeah, so I guess you couldn't prove it.
Or just so it wouldn't raise suspicion. It's like, oh, they got them.
Inside the garage, the only survivors in the warehouse were John May's dog.
No!
Highball.
No. Why did you put this in here?
Unharmed.
Okay, thank God.
Completely unharmed, unscathed.
Still alive to this day.
Live forever.
And Frank Gusenberg, who was the guy who refused to snitch. Even on his killers, which, damn, Frank Gusenberg, hats off. That's
something.
Right.
Damn. Damn Goose.
Insert Top Gun reference here.
So this was one of the time there was a lot of contention about prohibition and about bootlegging, things like that. So this kind of gave the pro-prohibition people kind of a rallying cry, like, look at all this violence that's happening right now. This is because of fucking alcohol. We need to keep it off the streets, etc. And obviously they missed the point there, because the shit wouldn't happen if the shit was like fucking whatever, like cheap to buy at the supermarket. No one's getting shot with a machine gun over it in a parking lot. No, there were no Banana Day massacres or whatever, right? Like, motherfuckers.
Is there a Banana Day? It just,
seems like there should be.
There should be a Banana Day.
Should happen.
I know there's a
banana
Day-O.
pancakes, banana bread.
Day-O.
Yeah, and there's the tarantula that lives in the banana.
Ooh.
But do you think...
He's black tarantula.
What tarantula lives in a banana?
When the guy's picking the bananas, the highly deadly black tarantula comes out.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Freak me out.
Uncultured bastard.
So police ended up... the investigation boiled down to, basically, they found out that they thought it was a couple of actual Capone's gunmen, John Scalise and Albert Anselmi. Albert Anselmi. As well as Jack McGurn and Frank Rio, who were just guys in his gang. They eventually charged McGurn and Scalise with the massacre.
Did they get charged with massacre? That's, getting charged with murder is one thing, but getting charged with massacre seems like it'd be kind of cool to say in prison. What are you in for? Massacre.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. I gotta look it up. There's probably like a couple of counts of murder. I don't imagine that it was... They're not going to give you that much cred going into prison. Massacre, man. This is kind of cool. When they raided one of the dude's bungalows, they found a large trunk containing a bulletproof vest, $320,000 in bonds in 1929.
That's a bunch of
in
cash.
1929.
Damn, yeah.
Flush with cash.
Yeah, that's...
Pills, baby.
Pills, baby.
2 Thompson submachine guns, pistols, 2 shotguns, and thousands of rounds of ammunition.
Jeez.
Damn.
Wow.
So it's like, even if he didn't do it, he was probably up to, no
He was
one
up to
like
doing something.
Right. There's no vet or whatever that, like, just a veterinarian that has like a trunk with a bulletproof vest, $320,000 in bonds, 2 submachine guns, pistols, shotguns, and thousands of rounds of ammo.
Nothing nefarious going on there at all.
Unless you're the
Stockpiling cash
coolest
and
goddamn vet of all time.
Yeah.
They were able to identify that the submachine guns matched the rounds that had been expelled or collected from like the crime scene, and were actually used in the massacre. So they ended up getting the right guy, basically. And I don't know if it's on this article or the other one I read, but the wall where the dudes got shot they like left the fucking bullet holes.
Yeah, the actual brick mortar is still shot through.
Well, they tore that down. However, somebody recovered, like, after like they demolished it, recovered the bricks that actually had the bullet holes in them. And there's like something in like different museums, like some murder museum somewhere, and then some guy actually owns a bunch of them.
Murderabilia.
You're right, exactly. Some guy owns like a bunch of them, and they're like went for like a bunch of money. And there's some in like an American gangster museum or whatever, where you can see like the actual bullet holes from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Prohibition era Chicago, not necessarily great for bananas.
No, okay.
No.
Well,
And Chicago typewriters.
or fires.
Snazzy ass suits, which never really went out of style, right? You're a dude. What do you wear now? You want to look fancy. What do you wear?
Well,
you look like a
I guess
Chicago
snazzy.
Prohibition era gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any of that.
You don't
would
have
be
those
really
weird,
good.
those weird like pads they had, like the zoot suits.
Yeah, they were a little big. They were kind of like
made you look like a triangle.
Yeah.
You and I don't, because we're like
Yeah.
shouldery, but like little dudes. will still-
Shouldery.
Little
I
dudes,
could wreck that.
little dudes will put on the shoulder pads still.
Oh yeah, shoulder pads. Yeah. Well, that was way more satisfying than the actual story, and I've never seen anyone break so many arms so quickly. What was that, Krav Maga? The groin strike seemed like Krav Maga. Anyway, clearly you guys are capable of handling yourselves, or at least she is capable of handling things for you. So let's see how you handle this.
No.
No!
Running for his life. So long as
Everybody, get on the fucking ground!
Yeah, listen to him.
Right now!
Listen to him.
A face! I shoot a face! Get on the ground, everybody! This is a robbery!
Holy fuck. Man, Daddy, chill, dude.
Dude, we gotta get that cash.
Why are
All
you
right?
so angry all of a sudden?
Because they've got the cash and I don't have the cash and I've got the gun, so I can now take the cash.
We knew we were walking into a bank.
Dude,
They got the money and I don't have
it's only like a
collateral.
nickel for a banana. What do you need that much cash for?
I've got too many bananas. Seriously, we don't buy too many bananas, and then you get the bananas home. You're like, "There's no way I'm going to eat all these bananas."
And then they all go
bread.
bad at the same
Right,
time.
and they all do it like
What are
immediately.
you supposed to do with
Banana
that?
bread.
I like to get an avocado and a banana, and I just have a race.
Man, Daddy, stop. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Why did you decide to rob a bank immediately as soon as the channel was changed?
Because we're doing we're doing gangster stuff, right? We're doing like old gangster.
I guess,
Yes.
Seems
I've
like
been
that's
cool
what
as a
they're-
cuke.
You tend to be, and I tend to be more of the
The jalapeno.
Yeah,
I'm the jalapeno. You're
that's
cute.
right. Yeah, Angela's right.
Jalapeno cuke.
Be a jalapeno cuke.
That
Like
they
a
should,
wickle.
They should invent a spicy cucumber that just comes out of the ground
Wickles.
spicy. It's like, but grown that way. You don't have to like brine it or anything. You know,
Yeah.
just spicy.
It's born that way.
Spicy off the vine.
I think it would
Talk
just
to God
cancel
about
itself out, though. Just be very, like, tepid.
nothing, yeah.
It'd just be, like, tepid vegetable.
Pepino.
Lukewarm
Tepid vegetable
opinion.
is a good name for something.
Tepid vegetable.
Tepid
Yeah,
vegetable.
it's a good band.
The Luke-cumber. Nah, that's terrible. Anyway.
But anyway, this is a robbery.
Stop firing!
Just keep rambling. Stop talking about whatever. This is an actual
Listen,
robbery.
Stop
folks,
firing your gun.
We're
All
not
these
a
people in Baker are like, are they actually talking about
I was going to say, we're
cucumbers
not a
in the
part
middle
of the robbery yet necessarily, ladies and gentlemen, but he is unstable. Just don't look at him or
You
just do
should
what he
be
says.
scared, though.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
I'm one of, I guess,
This
an,
is not
an accomplice.
okay.
Just get on board.
I don't know.
Do we also have to get on the ground, or can we not?
No, you're with the robbery. We're
But you
we're
keep
the-
I'm
yelling
not
at
armed.
us, though.
No, I'm yelling it down.
Turn around then.
I'm sorry. It's my first time.
Turn around to yell.
I thought I was like rallying
Turn
the troops,
around.
like
Just
telling
sit back
y'all,
up.
like,
Your
Go
gun's
ahead.
getting away.
Oh, I guess I could actually shoot instead of saying, "Here, wait, let me try that." Oh, wait, that's way better. That's way better. Okay, yeah. Get on the fucking, you guys.
There you go. Thank
get
you.
on the
Oh,
ground.
my
You
Jesus
lady.
Christ.
You person, dude. Get on the ground. Just do it.
It seems like the only person here who knows what's going on is Angela, because you're actually being calm about all of this nonsense.
Well, I just think we're just being fools right now. The siren went off. Someone obviously tricked the alarm. That's it.
How do you
We're
know
done.
that? What do you mean?
Can you just go
I got
get them
gun.
all?
I got big gun, and they have money, and it's not fair anymore.
Can't you just go out there and like get us out of this, like groin strike everyone, and make sure that like they don't shoot
Yeah.
us?
No,
Crotch
that does
McGraw.
not work.
Why?
Why?
You've already done it so
you
many
just
times.
killed a bunch
You've
of fake
groin struck
cops.
us out of so many.
Yeah,
bad
but I know
jams.
that's not going to happen.
She's the
You
one who
guys,
does it. She
You've
knows.
never ever heard of Fred William Bowerman.
No, obviously not. No.
No,
He was in the Christopher Guest movies.
that's Fred Willard.
Good guess.
I haven't.
Don't you love everything he's
Fred
in?
Willard's.
Fred Willard.
He's another one who is who he is in all the movies. And
Oh
just
yeah,
like it.
yeah, it's true.
And you're happy about it. You're like, hey, it's Fred Willard.
Yeah, you know what to expect. Fred William Bowerman was an American bank robber and Depression-era outlaw. He has been described as a veteran hold-up man. His criminal career lasted about 20 years. Nearing 60 years of age, Bowerman was named number 46 by the FBI, landing himself on the FBI's 10 most wanted list in 1953.
Damn.
His last year alive, which I think is kind of a good goal. Like, you make it on that list, and then you can just die.
Because you're gonna.
Yeah.
Because everyone's coming.
Just got
That's
up
it.
there. Yeah, exactly.
It's like being diagnosed with cancer at that point. You're like, well, guys, I'm top 10.
Yeah, here we are. I made it. There really isn't much on the early life of Fred William Bowerman. He was born in 1893 in Pipestone Township in Michigan, and his criminal career began in the 1930s. His first arrest was in Illinois for armed robbery in 1932.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hell of a first arrest.
So he served 5 years and was paroled in 1937. And didn't learn his lesson. Immediately began committing robberies throughout the Chicago area.
Like immediately, like he walked out into a store and robbed something.
Pretty much. He was doing all these robberies in Chicago, but he was still currently living in Michigan, and he would drive to Chicago using stolen cars. He would just like steal cars, drive to Chicago, and then I guess it'd steal another car and drive back.
What year is this?
He was first arrested in 1932. He was paroled in 1937. He committed 36 robberies between June and October in 1938. So just between those two, June and October, 36 robberies. He was captured within a year, and he was sentenced to Joliet Prison, where he spent another 7 more years locked up for his crimes. So he spent 7 years. He was locked up again in 1939. He spent 7 more years in jail. So at this point, he's done like 12 years of jail.
Jesus.
And he's in his 30s now?
Let's see, he was born in 1893, and this is 1946, and I can't do math.
No,
He'd been around the sun a few times. After his release in 1946, Bowerman finally learned a lesson. He kept a low profile. But he was eventually identified as one of the several men who robbed a bank in South Bend, Indiana, for $53,000 in September of 1952.
Jesus
I don't know what that would be
Christ.
now, but that's a lot of money for
Seems like a lot of money.
1952.
Right.
That's a lot of money for now.
You get a steak for a nickel and like a banana for like a quarter.
But yeah,
Wait, bananas are more expensive than steaks.
Oh, I didn't really get a lot of banana information on this story. I apologize.
but yeah,
What are you
you still
doing?
can't get
didn't
McDonald's,
really know
right?
about
Look
banana
up the price of
industry
inflation on
yeah.
bananas during the
didn't know.
1950 whatever.
I didn't like Google
Banana inflation.
Fred William Bowerman and bananas.
Banana prices, banana index.
So this robbery was actually attracted national attention because a bank employee was shot for raising his hands too slowly.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so there you go. A little over a month after this incident, Bowerman participated in one of the most violent bank heists in American history.
He signed up for it. He volunteered.
He volunteered. He actually kind of organized this.
All right.
With 3 other men, Frank Vito, Glenn Chernick, and William Scholl. Scholl, Vito, and Chernick were from Chicago, and Bowerman was from Niles, Michigan. Scholl was 26, and he was the only one of the 4 with a clean record. A disabled Army veteran from World War II and a bartender in Chicago, he had met Bowerman in the tavern and became part of the gang on Bowerman's promise that he'd make $5,000 in 5 minutes. So that was Bowerman's like spiel to give everybody, like, you're going to get $5,000 in 5 minutes.
The
Here we
elevator
go.
pitch.
I'm down now.
It's an elevator pitch.
On the afternoon of April 24th, 1953, at 10:19 a.m., 3 masked men entered the Southwest Bank in South St. Louis, Missouri, and attempted to hold up the bank. Each robber carried 2 pistols, and Bowerman himself carried a sawed-off shotgun. Ooh. Swinging that sawed-off shotgun, ringleader Fred Bowerman jumped onto a counter and shouted, "This is a hold-up! Everybody stand still!" The robbery started out as planned. They knew their target well. The neighborhood bank had almost about $200,000 ready for cashing paychecks. The men quickly gathered up around $140,000 from the bank tellers' cages and prepared to carry them out in a nylon satchel. However, unknown to any of the men, bank teller Alice Rudzika had set off a silent alarm, the first of several. As the robbers were about to make their escape, a number of police officers arrived and surrounded the bank. As the robbers began firing at police through the windows,
Jesus Christ.
the bank employees hid in the vault to escape the firefight and tear gas thrown into the building.
So not only did they know exactly where to go to get all of this money, when the silent alarm was triggered, which they probably knew might have happened, they immediately opened fire?
No, it wasn't until the cops started to arrive. So, because it was a silent alarm. So, which is something that's kind of interesting is there was this photographer named Jack January, which I don't even know if that's
Jack
real.
Such a tight name.
Yeah.
Yo, that's such a tight
That
name.
is tight.
Yeah, that's a type.
Wherever he was, he'd heard the radio broadcast or the police signal, and he was able to get to the shootout and get like close-up photos of the action at the bank because he like drove behind a police car from downtown at like
Of
70 miles
course
per
he
hour
did.
to reach the scene.
Of
like
course he
how
did.
gangstery is that?
That's how. There's a really well-known New York City photographer who would go into police stations late at night and would listen to the old radio. Yeah. So he was probably one of those
probably just
ambulance
listening.
chasers.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah.
Eventually, the robbers ran out of time and ammo, finding themselves trapped. Bowerman's remaining partners panicked. Police officers Melbourne Stein and Robert Heitz.
Melbourne Stein.
They were patrolling like 2 blocks away. They were the first officers to respond. Stein took the front door and Heitz went through the side entrance. Heitz exchanged pistol shots with the robbers and was wounded by a blast from Bowerman's shotgun.
Bowerman got it.
He got him.
He got an injury.
Knowing that he was totally screwed, Bowerman took bank customer Eva Hamilton hostage.
Oh, no.
And held a shotgun on her as he attempted to escape.
I'm thinking in my head that sawed-off shotgun.
Nobody move or the dam gets it.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's basically using her as a human shield. And he, like, kind of went outside and was like, nobody move, I'll shoot her. And he, like, shoved her on the pavement and broke both of her wrists.
Damn.
Bowerman was shot in the chest by Melbourne Stein. And the bullet pierced a lung and launched his spine. Eva Hamilton was fine aside from her broken wrists.
He must have been paralyzed.
Oh, yeah, it totally fucked him up. Also, when they realized that they were trapped, Bowerman had ordered his accomplices to grab a woman. You know, like he did.
I mean, why not?
Just grab a woman.
It worked the first time.
So one of the...
grab a woman, throw her on the ground,
break
and
her
then let
wrist,
someone shoot you.
And then let someone shoot you. Yeah.
And that's how we'll get out of this, boys. I know this is going to sound crazy.
Just do it. Somehow you win. So one of the accomplices, Scholl, he picked this lady, Mrs. Cantino, but he let her go when she began crying that she was a mother.
When he heard her adorable last name.
Yeah,
Cantino.
Mrs. Cantino. So he was actually married. He had kids. So I think the fact that this woman was like, "Don't shoot me, I'm a mother," like he was like, all right, and like kind of just like tossed her aside.
None of these dudes.
He actually attempted to go for a backup weapon, but by the time police came in, they disarmed him. He suffered a wound on his back in a gunfight, and he surrendered in the bank. He cried when a St. Louis Circuit Court jury found him guilty.
He cried in court?
Yeah, and he was sentenced to 25 years. Frank B. Vito, he was 25. He was already a convicted felon. He was on free bond from a liquor store robbery when he took part in Southwest Bank robbery, so he was already like wanted.
In that state too, probably.
Yes.
Right?
Basically, when they surrounded him, he thought he had actually shot an officer. So when they got to him, he was like, you know what? He looked over to the other guys. And he was like, "We're gonna get 99 years. I can't take a pinch." And he just shot himself in the head right
Oh
there.
my God!
Wow. Just go out.
Wait, hold on. Like
Frank Vito.
Frank Vito.
This is when they were apprehended,
Yeah. So when the cops got in, after they
didn't
shot Bowerman,
They didn't frisk him, or in the bank.
in the bank,
Yeah.
in the
Oh my
lobby,
God.
they came in, and he was just like, "I think I shot one of those cops. So I'm gonna get 99 years." And he just like shot himself in the head right there.
Shit.
And then the person right next to him goes,
No, dude.
"Yo,
Like
you heard that, right?
Dude, it's only like 10 to 12.
Yo, I didn't
Yeah.
shoot no cop. That was him.
You're only 25. Oh.
That was Danny DeVito's nephew.
Great uncle.
Frank Vito.
Oh.
The fourth member of the robbery team was Glenn Chernick, and he was a Marquette University college football star. He was 22. He was the getaway driver. He actually fled when police arrived, but
Probably the smartest one.
Laters.
he was found 3 days later at his dad's house in Chicago. He was a quarterback for Marquette University, but he was expelled, and he was awaiting trial for theft of wholesale cigarettes. So he's like, you know what? I stole some cigarettes. Let's just go straight to robbing
Straight
a
to bank
bank.
robbery,
So he was also sentenced to 25 years.
They could have made a lot of money from those cigarettes.
Bowerman was taken to a hospital where he tried to identify himself as John W. Frederick. However, FBI used his fingerprints to prove his identity. He never talked with police, and he ended up dying in the hospital.
No snitching.
No snitching.
So he used his first name as his last name?
Yeah, he just gave them this fake name.
Wow, what a genius.
Yeah.
No one's ever thought of that
Master
one.
of subterfuge.
His name was Fred William
William Bowerman,
Bowerman.
and he told them that he was John W. Frederick.
He still kept the W? Wow.
Yeah, well, you know,
He's really.
And one with
gotta keep
John.
it easy to
I'll let on the
remember.
W.
Yeah.
John.
Could have gone with a Chad or a Steven.
Jesus Christ.
Cuck.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
More than 40 shots have been exchanged, but none of the customers or employees were injured, thankfully. Aside from poor Eva Hamilton, who broke her wrist. Everybody was hiding in, like, all the employees were in the basement, so all the cops helped them get out. When they heard shots upstairs, everyone was, like, wiping their faces from tear gas and everything. The case is regarded as one of St. Louis Police Department's finest moments.
Good for them.
There's actually a movie about this. It is called The Great St. Louis Bank Robbery.
Huh.
It was made in 1959, so just 6 years after
Damn.
the bank robbery.
Whoa!
It was
That was current as hell for that.
right.
Yeah.
It was based on the actual holdup of Southwest Bank. It was made on location by producer-director Charles Guggenheim, and among the cast was a known
The Goog.
the Goog,
AKA the Goog.
The Goog.
You know, the
I'll get
Goog.
into
By the Goog. It was a
yeah,
Goog
it was
production.
like Goog's like first movie.
Goog flicks.
Another
Yeah.
Goog joint.
Goog flicks. This was one of Steve McQueen's first movies. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh shit!
And remember
And it was the Great St. Louis.
the Great St. Louis bank robbery
Okay.
in 1959.
Cool.
And do you remember Officer Melbourne Stein, the guy who actually shot Bowerman? He actually had a small speaking role in the film.
He didn't
Good
get to
for
play
him.
himself.
He
though?
didn't get to play
Oh, that's a
himself.
bummer.
That was portrayed by Crahan Denton.
The
right.
Denton man.
Who can
Denty.
forget?
Oh,
Oh, Denty.
Denty.
But Melbourne Stein actually, he retired from the department in 1973, and at age 97 is the oldest living retiree.
That is super, super cool.
Yeah.
Of the police department or of all time?
You know...
Of the Goog.
Of the Googs.
Of
Of the Googs of the 1973
West
Googs.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Everybody stay on the floor! Everybody get down, stay down, give me money!
doing
I got
this?
God, give me money! That's what's going on now! Back to whatever. Nice story, by the way. That was a really nice story.
Yeah, that was-
really cool. I
thanks,
like it.
guys.
But everybody's gonna die if I don't get cash!
Stop!
Really?
Just turn her around.
No, we just need the one more, man!
It doesn't matter.
One more big score!
Really
we
fire
get that
up.
mango farm down in Fiji!
What?
Because
Man, Daddy, what are you doing?
Wow.
I need the cash. This
This
is
ain't
how we
all right
gotta do.
at
We gotta
all,
do this. We
man.
gotta do this. We're already here. We got the guns. We gotta make this happen.
What a goddamn mess we're making of this. You fucking...
All right, easy.
Wow. All right.
All right, all right.
Let's
Obviously,
go too far.
I mean, what's our move, dude? What do we do now? I don't know anything about this heist. I'm already an accomplice, so tell
Let's
me
just
what I got.
smoke bomb. Ninja smoke bomb?
No, yeah,
Ninja
let's
smoke bomb.
Oh, a bomb. Yeah.
Guys, we gotta figure
let's
out what we're
smoke
gonna
bomb.
do. Like, you know, Felix is gonna change the channel like any second.
Do we
Yeah,
have that
Angel-
time to wait him out? Or like...
Wait.
Can we just go, just overwhelm the guard back there and just like get the hell out of here through the back
the
door?
back-
Just like charge him.
Yes.
All
Yes.
this
Go
at once,
for
like
it.
one
Four
big
of us.
team.
There's probably
Yes.
only a couple of them.
What's he gonna do? Just get all crazy? Just scream in his face?
You gotta
Sundance.
groin strike though. You gotta throw the. You gotta be groin striking.
Several groin strikes.
I'm gonna
Sundance.
go for. I'm gonna try as well, but like I'm not
Throw
as good.
everything at him.
I get to be Butch Cassidy? No, you're
You
Fritz
have a
Cassidy.
gun though.
You're like Fritz Cassidy. I'm going to be like the Sundance daddy.
Sundance.
Sundance
Yeah.
daddy.
Sundance.
Sundance daddy.
Sunman's daddy.
We're
Is
just
that
gonna, we're just gonna go out in a blaze of glory and just
Like better.
and just go out like Thelma and Louise holding hands.
Sunman's
Well,
daddy?
don't like.
Sunman's daddy.
Sunman's daddy.
That's that's what she said earlier.
Oh, behind you.
Drug.
Fire the gun. Behind
Oh,
you.
God,
Let's go.
This is really awful.
this is kind of cool.
I have no concerns.
I have no deals in the afterlife.
I have no concerns.
Disaster.
Oh, blazing inferno.
Whoa, that thing is burning well.
That is hot.
Feel it,
That is a
man.
house.
Can we stand a couple
that.
back?
Yeah.
I feel like
No,
Man
that's
Daddy's
It's too hot. So when you're too close
beard's
to
burning.
No. Hey. Careful.
Smell it.
Hey, fireman.
really awful.
What is that? Is that a pig farm? I always wanted to hear a pig
what the
farm
fuck?
burn for whatever
No,
reason.
wait, what? Jesus Christ, man. This is someone's house. We're searching for the survivors. There's like kids in there, maybe cats. We
Ooh.
can't find them.
Hey,
We've done 2 sweeps. And I don't feel comfortable sitting my men back in there. We might have to let this one burn itself out.
I was making a joke. I'm sorry.
yeah. That's
Well,
kinda,
you
man.
were too quick and crass with your jokes.
You know,
Sometimes
they're
keep
kids.
those on the hip.
Yeah, just wait a little bit.
Also,
you know, a
what's
little bit
funny about a pig farm burning down?
Yeah. I
Other
mean, I know
than-
I'm asking what is funny because I can't stop laughing.
All about the
Hey,
squeals.
what is funny about it?
I
Your little
smell kind
tail.
of good.
Smells like bacon.
Also, it'd be really tasty smelling.
It's kind of terrible.
Take that, vegans.
Also, that was not a man. That was a woman.
Yeah, you totally
I
assumed that fire
yelled
person.
right at
Yeah.
her.
Fire person. next
Fire
time.
person. Fire.
Or just,
2019 now.
Emergency
fire
worker.
broad.
Fire dame. Flame
dame.
Flame dame.
Flame Dame. Flame Dame, dude. Why? That's awesome. That'd be great to have a bunch of Flame Dames that send on your house. But this is
So
not.
did the house have any pigs? Or
There's no pigs here.
all right, I'm sorry.
Man, this guy is really wanting some meats and cheeses. I can't get over
Can I
it.
take photos?
Flame dame.
Flame Dame. Pardon me, Flame Dame.
Jesus.
I don't know, man. This is once again. This is reminding me of something.
What is it reminding you of?
I don't know.
Well, it's like a house.
This, not the fire. Not what
Yeah?
we're just about.
Okay.
The fire.
Okay.
The fire with the children and
the
the burning and the burning children fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait,
this is sad now.
That's not good. That's not a good thing. It reminds me of. Have any of you ever heard of the Sodder Children?
Negative.
No.
How do you spell that?
Sodder.
All right, pretty simple.
Well, it's a story and it involves children and burning houses. So just on a lark, I'm going to tell you a story. The year 1945. The town Fayetteville, West Virginia. The day Christmas Eve. The place the home of George and Jeannie Sodder and their 9 children. They had 10. But one was off somewhere, but they had...
On Christmas Eve?
Yeah, he was, I think he was actually fighting in a war or something.
Oh, he was like an older one, okay.
Yeah. 1945, so a war seems like could be happening.
Probably.
So, at 10 p.m., Jeannie and George were asleep, assuming their children were asleep as well. 2 had gone to sleep before them, 1 was sleeping with them, and the others were allowed to stay up a little late to play with new toys, being Christmas Eve and all. Then, at 12:30, the phone rang. Jeannie went downstairs and answered the phone. An unknown woman answered back and asked for an unfamiliar name. In the background was the sound of clinking glasses and laughter. When she told her that they had the wrong number, Jeannie recalls the woman had a weird laugh and hung up. She hung up and went to go to bed. She noticed that the lights were still on and the curtains were not drawn, a task the children usually completed before bed. But she noticed the eldest daughter, Marion, was asleep on the couch, so she assumed the other children were asleep and returned to bed. At 1 a.m., she was awoken again by the sound of something hitting the roof and rolling off.
Oh.
After hearing nothing else, she went back to sleep. Half an hour later, she awoke to the smell of smoke. She ran downstairs to find George's office on fire, generally around the telephone wire and fuse box area. She woke up George, who in turn woke up their older sons. The 2 parents and 4 of their children, Marion, Sylvia, John, and George Jr., escaped the house. The other children were upstairs in the attic. They yelled upstairs to the other children, but they couldn't get to them because the stairs were now engulfed in flames. They tried to call the fire department. Phone was dead. Jeannie ran next door to call and still couldn't reach them. Christmas Eve, small town, bad timing. They ran to grab the family ladder that was always on the side of the house. It was missing. George ran to start his 2 trucks to move them closer to the house and climb atop them. They wouldn't start. So the family were forced to watch helplessly as their home burnt to the ground over a 45-minute period with 5 of their children inside. Now, the fire department finally did show up the next morning.
What?
Because they had like a weird phone tag system where one person would call one person, that person would call. It was a volunteer fire department, and because it was Christmas Eve, it just the whole system
They were just
failed.
drunk.
Basically, I'm sure.
Eggnog is just popping off.
This is fucking
Getting
sad.
a nog drunk is a mean drunk. That's a weird cream, egg. Yeah,
It's a creamy drunk.
It's a creamy drunk.
It's like a brunch drunk.
Brunch drunk. That's a good name for something. Brunch drunk love. Now, they searched the rubble of the home, but were unable to find any remains whatsoever. The chief, F.J. Morris, suggested it had been hot enough to burn the bones completely, and the search was ended. George was told not to disturb the location until the state fire marshal could inspect it. But after 4 days, he and his wife couldn't stand the sight of it, so they did what anyone would do, and they bulldozed 5 feet of dirt over the site to make a memorial. So they completely just ruined the site. It would be a crime scene by just putting 5 feet of dirt on it.
Oh, my God.
Later, an inquest determined the fire was due to faulty wiring. Even though
How would they have figured that out if they bulldozed the entire fucking structure?
from the initial search, from the initial go through,
From
the
one
evidence,
dude, right.
from what Mr.
Gotcha.
Morris
Okay.
did.
All right.
A few months earlier, he had all the wiring in the house inspected, and everything was hunky dory. So, death certificates were issued for the 5 children, and life was supposed to move on. But the Sodders began to question what happened that night. And there were a lot of things to question about the days leading up to fire and to the night itself.
Yeah, that phone call.
Yeah, that of course. A few months before, a stranger had come to the house looking for hauling work. While in the backyard with George, he pointed to a fuse box and said, "That's going to start a fire someday." But he had just, once again, he had the wiring checked, so he's like, that doesn't mean anything. Then, 2 months before the fire, a traveling salesman tried to sell life insurance to the couple. When George declined, they always look for you. When George declined, the salesman became furious and said, quote, "Your goddamn house is going to go up in smoke and your children are going to be destroyed. You're going to be paid for those dirty remarks you've been making about Mussolini."
What?
Yeah, because you see, they were Italian immigrants.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that.
Back in
You
Italy.
buried the lead, man.
Oh, well, no, it's called a shocker. It's like a twist. It's a twist. You didn't see it coming. George was very, very outspoken about his dislike for the dictator Mussolini and would often get in heated debates with other Italians in town because Mussolini is a dictator.
How many
pretty much
Italians are in Fayetteville, West Virginia in 1950, whatever the fuck?
No, true, yeah.
They always find different pockets. You'll find different pockets of different groups.
Those
any
people.
Groups.
Mainstream
those
media.
particular people and then other different people. I'm being racist to everybody. No, just you'll always find groups of line up in one area.
So he got cornered by the local
and so
Mussolini sympathizers.
It seems that way. Maybe he popped off a little bit too much to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Now, the older sons also recall seeing a man parked along the highway watching the younger children come home from school one day.
I hate stalking stories.
It's always just creepy. It's dark.
There's nothing you can do. You're always a fucking sitting duck. That's like the scariest story, I think.
More and more, the Sodders became convinced that their 5 children had been kidnapped and that the fire was arson, because so much just did not add up. If the fire was electrical, why were the Christmas lights still on when they escaped? When they still escaped, the power was still working. If it was an electrical fire, then there should be no power. They later found, after the fire, they found their missing ladder at the bottom of an embankment 75 feet away from the house. And a telephone repairman told them that the wire to the house didn't burn, it had been purposely cut. Someone had climbed up the ladder, cut off the line, and thrown the ladder away, apparently.
This could have been a lot of different people, though.
Could have been a team effort. So Jeannie Sodder wouldn't accept the fact that there were no remains in the rubble when she found several appliances from the kitchen intact from the fire.
Good for you, Jeannie.
Keep it up. Hold the faith. She conducted several experiments herself, burning animal bones, and was never able to turn them into ash. Just to see, just to calm her mind.
Isn't that one of the saddest things?
Just
This bereaved mother burning pig bones in a yard
Yeah.
somewhere, just trying to make sure that, oh God, that's terrible. Jesus Christ.
And she talked to a crematorium operator who told her that a 2-hour fire burning at 2,000 degrees would still leave bones intact. And this was a 45-hour-long fire. There's no way.
45-minute.
Yeah. And so a local bus driver also said that she had seen someone throwing, quote, balls of fire at the house on Christmas Eve.
What?
It was Sergeant Slaughter, and he said, "God damn it, Hulk Hogan," and he fucking threw a fireball at his face.
Brother.
Something hitting the roof when she's in the
Yeah,
middle
when
of
she
the
heard
night.
something hit the roof and roll off. And they found, once the snow had melted, they found a small dark green rubber ball near the house that resembled a pineapple bomb, which is a incendiary device.
Oh.
So that looked like that was another possibility.
Do you just light it and toss it?
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's not very, very small technology there, just light and goo. Now, on top of all this, there were multiple sightings of the children after the fire. People in town say they saw the kids in a vehicle on the night of the fire. A woman at a hotel claims to have seen the children a week after the fire. And so George and Jeannie erected a billboard near their home with pictures of the 5 children and announcing a $10,000 reward for their return. The Sodders also hired a private detective to look into the case. And he found out that a man that sat on the coroner's jury that ruled the fire an accident was the insurance salesman that threatened George previously.
Come on.
Yeah, how did that sink through? How did that guy get the gig?
West Virginia.
And he found out
Almost heaven.
He also found out that the fire chief actually found a heart in the ashes that he kept, put in a metal box, and buried. They confronted him because he had confessed to a local priest. And so when they confronted him, he confessed to them. They dug up the box, and they discovered that what was inside was not a human heart, but a beef liver. So he found on the scene a beef liver, kept it for himself, thinking it's a heart, and put it in a box and buried it.
That wasn't burnt.
None of it makes any sense. Yeah, it had never been exposed to fire.
This is stupid.
In 1967, Jeannie Sodder received a photo of a man that resembled Louis Sodder, one of their missing children. On the back, it said, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, ill boys, A90132 or 35. That's what it said. Doesn't make any sense. People have studied trying to think of its zip codes.
One more time.
Or anything.
What was it?
It says, Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Ill boys, ILIL boys, A90132 or 35. Whatever that means. The photo was sent.
Ill
You
boys?
said ill boys?
I-L-I.
That just means the.
That means the boys?
The boys.
Yeah.
Oh, the boys.
The
Okay.
boys,
Ill
yeah.
boys would be,
Ill
but
boys.
it's I-L-I-L.
I-L-I-L.
Two times.
I-L-I-L.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys.
The boys. The boys.
Unless ill means
Now, the
something.
photo
So
was...
that might be some kind of clue then,
Yeah.
if they're doubling up something
I'm
else.
figuring this murder out right now.
There you go. And Angela solved it by the time I finished the story. She's good. She's good.
Look at her. She already has a desk and 2 assistants. Where the fuck are they coming from?
My God, she has interns.
Get
this
out
is
of my
amazing.
house! Look at her.
She's on it.
She's
Well, I don't know
scribbling.
about that.
She's scribbling.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things that this means in many different languages. Anyway, I'm just going to
Anxious.
papers everywhere.
Stop it.
Now, ooh,
What the fuck was?
Sorry,
knocking things over and
that
shit.
was me.
Now, the photo was sent from Kentucky, but without a return address. So they hired another private eye to track down the sender. The private eye left West Virginia and was never heard from again. He went off to find out what's up with this photo and disappeared. Gone. Never heard from again. Now, George and Jeannie continued their search for the rest of their lives. George passed away in 1969 and Jeannie in 1989. As of 2015, Sylvia was the only child left alive and still hopes that one day the mystery of her missing siblings will be solved.
Realistically, it sounds like a lot of means being put toward something that doesn't really seem worth the effort, right? Like West Virginia, small town family. At some point, the country roads take you there. And then you got Mussolini sympathizers that have access to pineapple fire incendiary things and like a group of people to cut telephone lines and throw ladders
What was
and
the type
cover
of?
up.
It was a type of bomb, I think.
It seems like a lot of
Pineapple
effort for
Yeah,
what?
it's
Oh, yeah, for
it's
sure.
just basically like a Molotov
and
cocktail.
then to
I had no idea.
to take children, and then also to then send pictures afterward, and to disappear other private investigators who.
But where are the bones? Why would they? That's the thing, is that where are the remains? I mean, there's no.
Where are the bones?
Yeah, and what's with the liver heart thing?
The liver heart
The
thing
liver
is
heart is like it's like that, like some
It's
people
like
say
Captain
that
Beefheart.
he planted it there. Captain Beefheart's crazy. That he
do-
planted it there.
It's interesting stuff.
Are there theories that the police chief had anything to do with it? Because
That he
They always
he
do.
seems involved in some way. You know,
doesn't it seem like the stupidest crime ever?
It's
Like
very
with
silly.
people
Right.
calling,
Weird.
saying like,
Yeah.
"Hoo-hoo, cheers to William." William's not here.
Houses
Good.
catch fire and like
Like,
crazy.
were they watching like Showtime?
Why pick on Showtime?
it sounds Showtime-ian. The plot is very
Yeah,
Showtime-ian.
that's Showtime.
I was saying more stars, but sure, I'll go Showtime.
Star Showtime.
The stars thing. Something about the old people's, you know.
The Ron Howard
Yeah.
movie. Them,
Oh,
like,
well, so we're talking movie
Showtime?
stuff.
Is it Showtime or is it Stars?
Like how they
Like a
put him
cocoon.
in the thing. They put him in the pool. And
Yeah.
they're like, coon it up.
Oh,
yeah.
Cocoon sucked.
Jesus.
There was
Oh.
nothing.
It always
there.
sounds like an angry,
What the
like
hell?
New Jerseyan
was
god.
Hey,
There's nothing there, honestly.
it's endearing.
The entire
Spielberg, early Spielberg, right?
endearing.
Was it Spielberg
Was it
or
George
was it Ron
Lucas?
Howard?
It was
Ron
James
Howard.
Cameron. No,
No,
not.
it was not James
Oh,
Cameron.
you think it was James Cameron?
No, I don't
Cameron
think it was
Crowe.
Wilford Brimley. Wilford Brimley was in it.
Wilford
Brimley
Brimley's
was in it.
definitely-
Pre or post diabetes?
He's always had diabetes.
Always
He
had
came out with
diabetes.
diabetes. Yeah.
He came.
Schmutzy is biting the fuck
will let
out of
you
my
know.
fucking arm right now. God damn it!
Get him, Smooshin.
Hey,
Get him, Smooshy.
hey,
Hey, be careful. Don't hurt that cat. Don't hurt that. Don't make me come out of this TV and
You let
smack
that cat bite you. You let
let
that cat bite you.
I'm the fucking one in charge here.
Please,
Okay?
well, whatever you do, don't turn the TV
Yeah.
off. Like, please don't turn the TV.
Yeah.
Just change us to something
We
that we
don't
can
go away, but we should, and we're just still here, and there's
Trapped
nothing,
in
and it's cold
terrifying,
and dark,
cold
and
Hey, I got a question.
Nobody
screaming
likes
demons.
This. No
Are
one.
you like the little trolls inside of the refrigerator? When I turn you on, you're alive, and when I turn you off, you guys are dead?
You have trolls in your fridge?
Yeah, you really should clean out your fridge. There shouldn't be anything alive.
Let's see if I turn off the TV if you guys are going to be dead, all right?
No.
No, we're not
no,
dead. We
no.
should be
We
dead.
don't
It's
know
not
that.
bad. Don't.
Please
We don't
don't.
want
Not this time.
God, no!
Come on, please don't.
No!
Hey, you crazy kids. You're looking to make some money and making some cash, get those clams in your pocket? Where's the money nowadays? I'll tell you where the money is nowadays. Bananas. Yes, you need to get bananas. You should be selling bananas. Everybody loves bananas, don't you? So I'm going to tell you kids right now, you need to get yourself into the banana trade. Get yourself a banana cart. There's always a banana cart. Get yourself some bananas now. Why? Because bananas are money, kids. Bananas. Just get yourself some bananas for the clams. Banana clams. Here's the deal. You get yourself some bananas, you get a cart, you sell the bananas, you get more bananas, you get more cash, you buy more clams. When you get those clams from all those bananas, you take those clams down to the banana cabana. Why do you take them down to the banana cabana? Because the banana cabana is where you get your clam bananas. Banana clams are the banana cabana. Try them now.